Hi there, everyone. This is the second episode of the Iggy Pod. I'm sorry it's late. Um, just a lot of shit going on. Um, Even this today is heavy, um, and I feel kind of rough, but we're gonna do it because you know what? I want to do it. I want to fight through it, and I think I can still put on a decent show today. So we're gonna try our best. And at the end, we're gonna have a special little announcement for y'all. So get hyped for that. I'm just writing that down so I remember. First thing that we're talking about today, I have a PS5. It's fucking crazy that that's the case. It was really difficult to do. Basically, how it happened is I had missed a bunch of the first releases. I stood in line waiting at EB Games, and I missed out then. I missed out online multiple times. I had both Best Buy and Walmart Canada Gaming or whatever it is. Notifications on Twitter, and I had missed multiple launches. And one night, it was 1 in the morning. I was lying on the couch, and I got the notification, booked it upstairs, tried about three or four, like it took at least 20 minutes of just checking. No, credit card doesn't work. Okay, try checking again. No, credit card doesn't work. Okay, take that one out. Now take this one and try that. Nope. Okay, that bundle doesn't work. Now this one says sold out. Take that out of the cart. Oh, now that one's actually in stock. Okay, now it says sold out again. Fuck, like literally chaos. But it showed up, and it showed up early. On my original order, it stated it was going to be March 8th, and it showed up February 26th. So I thought that was huge and super awesome, and I loved that. So that was great. Um, I have not had a lot of experiences with it yet, only because the only game I got is Miles Morales, and we're not really playing that game until Sarah beats Spider Man 1, Spider Man PS4 remastered. So until that's done, we're not even going to play Miles Morales. So the only experience I have with a PS5 game is Astro's Playroom, and that's not a bad thing. It is, in my opinion anyway, the best free game that came with a console since Wii Sports. But you're not going to touch Wii Sports. Wii Sports is too dope. But this game is fantastic. It's a 3D platformer, and I guess the entire idea of it is kind of to show you what the controller is capable of, what the haptic feedback functionality is for the PlayStation 5. And the answer is it's fantastic. The feeling, the vibrations that are in this controller are just something else. Um, it's hard to explain, but like you're a little robot dude. And the fact that you feel every step, like every little step, like let's say your controller's this, right? Every step you feel like for every step, but it feels different depending on which surface you're walking on. So my favorite example is to go to the beach level. There's a beach level, and I'll have people that haven't experienced this before walk on the deck, and they'll feel, and then they walk on the sand, and you feel like it feels different from going from sand to deck, and it's crazy. Um, Truly feels like the future, and honestly, the only controller I feel like it's worth its price. Even the Joy Cons are too goddamn expensive, but I feel like this thing is really worth its weight. Um, and absolutely love it. The main reason why we got a PS5 as well was so that we could play all our PS4 games on it because it's backwards compatible. And that's why, even though the only game I've really played is Astro's Playroom, I've still played a bunch of my PS4 games on there. So even though I don't really have the next gen experience yet, I still am enjoying my time with the console. So, um, highly recommend it if you can ever get your hands on one, which I know is basically fucking rocket science right now. I definitely recommend getting a PS5. It's great. I love it. That haptic feedback function is fucking incredible. Next up, I wanted to do a little bit of a rant about the Nintendo Direct. And it really bugs me because Nintendo is not known for being lazy. But this year, and even last year, I would say they are extremely lazy. Mario 35. Big deal. 35 years of Mario games. You cannot compare any other video game character that is not Nintendo based. Like the only other one you could compare is Zelda, and we'll get to that later. But in terms of importance to video gaming history, I would say Mario is number one. And for his 35th anniversary, you put out Mario Kart Home Circuit, which is, granted, a cool idea. Mario 35, okay, and Mario 3D All-Stars. So we'll start with All-Stars of why I'm mad about that. Really? You couldn't remake any of them? You couldn't remake any of them. Mario 64 has already been remade. On DS, I know, and that's obviously vastly different, but like, I don't understand how you knew what the date was. Like, is Miyamoto just like, what year is it? Bro, it's Mario's birthday next month. Like, you know what I mean? You knew this was coming. And you lazily throw, like, just ports of 20-year-old games and sell it to us for full price? Huh? And then you make them for a limited time only. The fuck is that? Why is it for a limited time only? Why is it? I think it's actually coming up now. Why is it that you would take it off the store? Like, what are you fucking doing here? Like, I'm so confused. So you were lazy enough, and again, that's why I come to the laziness factor, because you ported over games that were old as shit. And I played Mario 64 on stream, and that game is fucking dated. It has its fun moments, but honestly, it became a drag after a while. And, I get that that's some people's favorite game of all time. I understand that. It's fucking dated, and it really could have used a remake. It really could have used a remake. And now, this year's Zelda's 35th anniversary. Okay, well, what did we do for Mario? Okay, well, so, we put out a free game that's a battle royale, and no one really cares. We put out a Mario Kart. That was a really cool idea, actually. Just hard to buy, I guess, and probably really expensive. I haven't actually checked to see how expensive that is, to be honest, but still, I would assume it's expensive. And we put out 3 games that were a port of a really old game, and everyone called us lazy. So what do we do for Zelda, guys? Got any ideas? I've got an idea. Okay, Tim, what's your idea? Why don't we take the most controversially bad Zelda game that we've ever made that's only 10 years old, not port it, not remake it, instead just port it, give it better graphics and then a different control scheme, and then sell that. And then there's just silence for 5 straight minutes in that room before somebody just goes, I'll be the first to say it. That's a great idea. And then they started making the game. Like, I don't understand who the fuck looked at that and said, that's the best way to make money. That's the best way to make money. Are you thick? Are you fucking thick? Are you dense? Are you 10-ply? Like, how stupid do you have to be to think that that's a good fucking idea? I don't get it. I don't get it. Even if you did Zelda 3D All-Stars, that would have been better. That would have been better. And that would have been shameful. That would have been unbearably unacceptable. because you ported all, like, you've already upgraded those games. Majora's Mask, Ocarina, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker all have remakes that made changes to the games to make them better and modernized those games. You could have done, like, the 4 titles, and if you combined those 4 titles, put them on the Switch, I cannot print the money fast enough for you. I can't do it. It's impossible. And you decide instead, let's pick the one that everyone hated and was easily the most controversial, and just do that one instead. Also, you're just wiping your ass with money then, and making all your fans upset because you did the laziest thing you could have done. Not even lazy, stupid. And I love Nintendo. I love Nintendo so much. But that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, it's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. And you know what? They might come out later and they might make an announcement that, hey, we are doing Zelda 3D All-Stars. And if they do, that'll be fine. That will be a bit better, but you could have told us that there was more coming. If you did that, if you had said there's more Zelda news coming, don't worry, guys. Because at this point, you're not giving us any updates about Breath of the Wild 2, so I don't think it's coming this year. And you know what? I'm not going to be like fucking Sonic 06 and be like, it's going to be on the birthday. But, like, still, it's the fact that you did something so fucking lazy and poorly thought out that it is shameful to me. Like, it's infuriating to me. So, I was scrolling Twitter the other day, and I saw a TikTok going around, and it was Gen Z is apparently canceling Eminem, and it was a millennial woman who felt the need to defend him. And a lot of people were giving it shit because it was cringe. It was cringe. I've made worse. I'll own up to that. But it wasn't the fact that it was cringe to me. It was a situation where I wouldn't consider myself a stan, but I do really, really love Eminem. And I watch a lot of reaction videos on YouTube of Eminem lyrics. Fucking shout out to Stevie Knight and Knox Hill. Those are the two best in my opinion. Stevie Knight is he's my top. I love Stevie Knight. And the thing that bugs me about it is, like, why do you feel the need to defend Eminem? I love Eminem as an artist. But this man has been criticized his entire career. Just listen to his songs, listen to his lyrics, listen to White America, listen to The Way I Am, listen to everything that he has put out. His recent albums are basically all about people criticizing him. Those recent ones are not about him being canceled. Those recent ones are more about him not getting the respect he deserves as the GOAT. And what confuses me is why... And again, the other thing is just the generation thing, like millennials versus Gen Z. Half the time, the millennials that are saying this are not real millennials. I am like the last of the millennials, and I'm 24. From what I have read, and it's hard to get consistent answers on this too, which is infuriating, but millennials basically go to 1996. If you are past 1996, from what I have been told, you are a Gen Zer. And then there's like the new... I think there's like a brand new one that like just happened now. I don't know. There should be a new era, the fucking COVID quarantine. Instead of the quarantine, it'll be the fucking baby boomers, and then it'll be the COVID boomers. That might actually be a thing now that I think about it. It's very possible. But moving on. It's the fact of, why do you feel the need to defend this guy? Like, he defends himself. You don't need to sit there and go, listen, Gen Zers, y'all can't cancel Eminem, okay? He's my fucking artist, bro. Just stop. Like, do you think M's looking at this like, man, people are mad. Like, I'm upset that people are mad. No, I mean it, Paul. I'm upset. Like, no, Eminem doesn't give a fuck about Gen Zers canceling him. And Gen Zers aren't canceling him. He has been attempted to be canceled since he has been released. One of the first, his most popular song when he came out was literally, "Hey kids, do you like violence? Want to see me stick 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids?" And parents were like, "This guy is fucked. And he is ruining my children. I don't want my kids listening to him." They've been trying to cancel him since he's been out. What are you on about? He's being canceled. My fucking ass, he's being canceled. Like, unless you, as far as I'm concerned, with almost any music, if you come out, the only way to be canceled, in my opinion, is to legitimately do something awful. That's it. They legitimately do something awful. And Eminem has done some bad shit. Let's not let's not fucking let him slip by. He owned up to the fact that he abused Kim. He owned up to that. Kim slit her wrist due to something that he did, and that's fucked up. It really is. But he has owned up to the fact that he did those fucked up things, and he is not proud of those things. But I've seen nothing about him being a pedophile. I've seen nothing about him being racist. And if it is, like, how the concept of Eminem being racist is hilarious to me. Like, the other one that really pisses me off is that he's taking black culture. Fuck off with that, okay? No, he's not. He's just not. He's not. And the amount of respect that he has put into black rap artists that made him who he is constantly, like, I can't see him being a racist. And listen, I'll own up to the fact that I am an Eminem fan, not really a rap fan. I love Eminem. I love his lyrics. I don't listen to rap outside of him, and that's pretty stupid. I'll be real about that, but I like what I like, and I'm not going to apologize for that. So it just bothered me that they felt the need to defend him like he was being canceled, as if this hasn't been happening his entire fucking career. Like, it was so shocking to me. It was so, when half these millennials that listen to him because their parents didn't like him. Anyway, I want to talk about my two newest celebrity crushes. Anya Taylor-Joy. Since I've watched The Queen's Gambit, that is a pretty lady. Also, please watch Queen's Gambit. It's incredible. The second one was Sarah and I recently watched Jumanji, and we were surprised at how good it actually was. I really like Jumanji. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. We have not seen the sequel, so don't ask. And we were already watching something with this actress in it, but now Karen Gillan, or Gillian, I don't know. I think it's Gillan. She just seems so awesome, and she's so attractive. Dear God. I didn't realize I had a thing for redheads. Apparently I do. I always thought it was a thing for blondes, which Anya Taylor-Joy does work out with, I guess. But, like, dude, Karen Gillan, and I don't know what it is, but those two, especially recently, those are my new top two celebrity crushes. Definitely. And go watch Jumanji if you haven't. It's incredible. And The Queen's Gambit as well. It's incredible. Framing Britney Spears. We watched it the other day. And I had some thoughts because it was a powerful documentary. It really was. And the main thoughts that I had may be a bit controversial. But to be honest, I don't care. I think that comedians making fun of Britney Spears are not necessarily in the wrong, because I feel like comedy in general is criticism. I think that stand-up comedy especially is its own beast. Late night is touchy, and I think in that there are recent interviews that have come out. The David Letterman one with Lindsay Lohan, I think that was disgusting. I really do. The Britney one with the Jay Leno with Monica Lewinsky drives me up a fucking wall, and I can't explain to you how much I want to punch that big mailbox looking motherfucker's face. Like, oh my god, he drives me nuts. But the Britney Spears joke in there, in that documentary, was really a Monica Lewinsky joke, and it still sucked. Like, it was such a low blow, and it pissed me off. But to me, I don't see the comedians as the bad people here. I see the paparazzi. I see the news people. Those people are the evil ones, and our society itself, because those people wouldn't do those things if society didn't want it. Right? It's not like these paparazzi are taking pictures because people aren't buying them. And magazines, they're buying these pictures off the paparazzi because they can't sell a magazine. They just can't sell it. Britney Spears' pictures on it, it's not going to sell. Let's just buy it for $1 million, apparently, according to the documentary. It's because fucked up people buy it and go, look at that bitch. She's a bad mother, and this and that and this and that. And it's really hard to watch. But I will say this. The paparazzi, the news people, the most disgusting one was, I forget her fucking name, but they literally play a clip with Britney Spears sitting in the room, and it's a woman literally saying, if I could shoot Britney Spears, I would. And the newswoman literally went, well, you got to see where she's coming from. No, you don't actually. No, you fucking don't. You don't have to see where that stupid bitch is coming from. You don't. And this is the same thing as the Eminem thing to me. It's the same thing because you have to separate art from person. She dresses slutty. She sings slutty songs. Therefore, she's a slutty whore person. Not necessarily. Maybe they do that because the record company tells her to, and that's what sells. Also, realistically, slut shaming in society is fucking awful, and we need to stop it. If you are a sex worker, good for you. Keep up your work. There should be no shame in that at this point. If women like to sleep with lots of men, as long as they're clean, who gives a fuck? And a lot of times if they aren't clean, sometimes that's not their fault. It's more than likely a man that lied to them. You know? Like, it's so frustrating to see. And it was heartbreaking. But the one thing I will say that gives me hope is looking at what was happening and thinking about how there's no way in hell that we would act like that today as a society. You know, I don't think we would. I don't think it would be this, look, this bitch is going crazy. Look at her. It would be like, I really hope Britney's okay. Like, it wouldn't be like, look, she's losing her shit. What a bitch. It would literally be like, oh my God, I hope she gets help. and that's because mental health has come such a long way. That was only like a decade ago, like 15 years ago. And it does give me hope that at least mental health has gone forward enough that I don't think we could get away with that anymore. So I will say that that gives me hope at least. Now, to get to the sports section of today's show, I want to talk about some hockey stuff. I want to talk about. We're going to start with Buffalo. If you're a fan of the Buffalo Sabres, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm just. I don't think there's a more pathetic franchise in hockey. In hockey, definitely. In sports, even the Cleveland Browns have gotten better. Like maybe the Sacramento Kings. They've like never been good ever. Even the Phoenix Suns are winning now. They were awful for a decade. Like, they're just fucking awful. And they've been fucking awful for almost a decade now. And there's no sign it's getting better. There's just none. And it's to a point now where, you know, when you're like a hockey fan and you pay attention to all the teams, maybe you're like me, you look up analytics, you really care about the teams, you care about stats, who's playing where, this and that, contracts, all that kind of shit, right? You at least have an idea of what you would do in that team's shoes, right? You would say, like, Edmonton needs to get better wingers and a better defense core and an actual fucking goaltender, you know? Ottawa just needs to kind of let the rebuild happen, and Detroit, they're on the right path, they're rebuilding. Like, you would know where to go. The Anaheim Ducks need to rebuild and basically sell all of their old players. LA Kings, you know, same thing, right? Buffalo, I'm going to start a franchise mode on Buffalo, NHL 21 soon, because I literally sit there and I don't know where to start. I don't even know what you do anymore, because, like, you could go wholesale, fire everybody like the Leafs did, but I thought they did that at one point, and it hasn't helped. And they already have high draft picks. In Jack Eichel, they've got a superstar, and you're wasting more years if you wholesale sell, and some of your young players are being just thrown to the fire. Dylan Cousins, Casey Middlestat is basically fucking useless now because you played him when your team was fucking dog shit and he hasn't developed. He's basically fucking Luke Shen. Like, and, like, it's so shameful because you had all this hope, and you've, like, you know where I actually would start? I would start by firing every scout, because clearly it's not good enough. Your scouting sucks. You're not getting good enough players, because you should have been turned around by now, and if you scouted properly, you might have, but you haven't. It's the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers scouting was fucking terrible for years. It's why they didn't have any... Unless you were drafted in the first round in Edmonton, you weren't good. Like, they never had... like, the reason why the Leafs are so fucking good right now is Kyle Dubas's skills at finding talent. Justin Hall is a perfect example. This wasn't Kyle Dubas. I mean, it might have been Kyle Dubas. I don't really know. I think he was an assistant GM. But Zach Hyman is a perfect example of a guy that they traded. I think they traded Greg McKegg or something for that man. And he's arguably one of the most important players on the fucking Leafs right now. They have taken so many small moves to get the depth working on the Leafs, and all these teams I see failing, that's where they're missing. Edmonton, you got your stars, get some fucking depth. You're clearly not good enough at finding the depth pieces. The same thing with Buffalo. You got Eichel. You've got Darlene. Do you have a goalie? No, I think they have Carter Hutton, which, what the fuck is that? Like, you don't have the standout, like, you don't have the depth. You've got Jeff Skinner, you've got Taylor Hall. Jeff Skinner, you're not even fucking playing, and you gave him a $9 million contract, which was a mistake the second you fucking signed it. But you had to give him $9 million because otherwise, how the hell is he going to stay in that goddamn city and that goddamn mess of a team? Like, I don't know. I genuinely see no reason. If you're a Sabres fan, I don't know what hope you have. I honestly don't. I don't. You're basically the Leafs from fucking 2006 until 2015, except at least the Leafs had one one playoff appearance, and it was probably the most heartbreaking thing I've ever experienced. But moving on, like, just fucking awful, fucking awful. The Leafs, on the other hand, so I was going to record this podcast a few days ago, and my main topic I wanted to talk about, and I will still talk about it, but it was the fact that there was a report that the Leafs wanted more forwards at the trade deadline. And now I'm sitting here, and the more important thing to talk about is the fact that they just held Connor McDavid pointless in 3 fucking games, and Draisaitl got 1 assist. This team can play defense. I was just checking my surroundings to make sure I'm not, like, dreaming or dead. The Leafs are really good defensively. And it's weird. Like, this was the first time I've watched a game and, like, I'm a damaged Leafs fan, so I'm still sitting there going, they can still fuck this up. But then they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, they're doing that consistently. I'm watching game after game, and I'm going, they could fuck this up, though. And then they don't. And I'm like, this is different. Like, it's weird. And, I mean, they did the one game against Ottawa, and that was just, oh, my God, I was so angry about that. But they are genuinely really good offensively. They're really good defensively. They have offense coming from literally every line right now, and they still don't have Wayne Simmons in the lineup right now. Nick Robertson's not playing either. You got Barabanov, Patan, all these extra forwards. And TJ Brody. Oh my God. He's so good. I love him so much. Like, even Bogosian. I thought Bogosian was going to be fucking shit. I genuinely thought Bogosian was going to be Polak 2.0. A big right-handed defenseman that throws checks and misses assignments. Like, I thought that's what he was going to be. No, he's been great defensively for this team. And I'm sitting there going, I easily thought there was no way he was playing over Mikko Lehtinen, and now I'm like, no, play Bogo. He's fucking better. Like, he's great so far this year. And Hall is just a new defenseman. And, like, I'm sitting there going, what? Like, again, there's still problems that they have to solve. Don't get me wrong. And I don't mean on the ice. Like, on the ice, keep going. Like, you're in the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. I get it. We're Leafs fans, and we are still in the back of our minds going, don't say it. You're going to take some. No, I'm not. This team is too good. It's too good. Like, unless, like, half of their fucking top 6 Like, unless they lose their entire top 6 to injury, and Brody, and, like, literally, Freddie Anderson got hurt, and I wasn't that concerned. I was concerned, but I wasn't that concerned. That's when I know, okay, so playoffs are in the bag. Now let's find out how many rounds we can go. And they can still, again, this is the thing. Do I have faith of them in the playoffs? No. I'm not fucking smart. Like, I'm not dumb enough to be like, oh, they're going to the third round, fucking tight with a bow on there. No. This is still Toronto. They've had great regular seasons for years, and they've done nothing in the playoffs. Now you have to prove me wrong. The regular season, I was already like 99% sure you were going to make it. You haven't impressed me yet. You've impressed me. But you haven't given me anything to make me go, I'm confident this team will win a round. Nope. I will be impressed. Genuinely, at this point, I will think they win a round of hockey when that final fucking buzzer goes off on the winning game. That is the only time I will be confident that they will win. And you know what? They deserve that. They brought that on themselves. Let's make that fucking clear. One of my favorite stories of being a Leafs fan was Game 4 against Columbus last year because they came back. And I was pissed off. Because I said, don't you fucking do this to me. They scored the tying goal. I stood up and screamed, don't you fucking dare do this shit to me. And Sarah was like, why are you mad at me? Like, sorry, why are you mad right now at the team? And I'm like, because they're going to do it again. They're going to give me hope right before they let me down. They did it when they took Boston to 7 games. They did it when they took Boston to 7 games again. They did it when they were they did it again when they went to 7 games against Boston again. They did it against Washington. They did it. They always give you hope before they take it away. And what happened in Game 5 against Columbus? They let me down again. And I wasn't surprised. I wasn't sad. I was numb. That's what being a Leafs fan is. And so, yeah, I am incredibly optimistic. I would say this is the best Leafs team I've seen in my lifetime. I just hope they can actually put up the performances in the playoffs. They play tonight against Vancouver, and I'm so excited to watch it. I'm excited to watch the Leafs again. There was a few points last year where I just gave up because I was like, I fucking hate this team. And I'm excited to watch the games, and it's been really, really fun, and I've really enjoyed it. I had plans to talk about some other shit, but I think I'm good. I think I'm going to end it here, but I will finish with an announcement, and that announcement is that this is going to be the last episode of the Iggy pod. It will instead become the Iggy and Billy pod. Good buddy of mine, Billy, from England, the good old England. We talk a lot, and we're very similar in a lot of ways. We're very good at joking with one another, and we kind of threw around the idea of starting a podcast together. And I said, well, fuck it. Why would we start a podcast together when I have one? We'll just put you on there, and then maybe if I want to start my own again down the road, I can do that. And it's still going to be very similar. Like, I still want to talk about mostly the same shit. I want to talk about the current life events. I want to talk about gaming. I want to talk about entertainment. I want to talk politics. I still want to talk hockey if he'll let me. But I think it'll be more fun. I feel like I'm a better entertainer when I have someone to bounce off of. And I feel like Billy can really be that for me. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. We're going to try to get the first episode up this weekend. If not this weekend, then next weekend. But regardless, we're going to get it done. And it's going to be really good. And I cannot wait to get started with it because I think it's going to be a lot of fucking fun. So we're going to get that done soon, so look out for it. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Iggy Pod, the last episode of the Iggy Pod. Well, I might do one on the weekend if I don't do one with Billy, but I really hope you enjoyed. Comment down below with some things you'd, just let me know your thoughts about certain topics we talked about, and give you topics for next show as well. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to hear your guys' comments, and I'm going to go watch some hockey. So see you guys later. Bye.